The very first show I ever performed in or had anything to do with theater was Showboat in Monroe at Northeast University. Andy Devine was the guest star, and he was a famous cowboy. That was the first show I ever was involved in with musical theater. It was enthralling. It was exciting. I actually had a speaking part. I was 8 years old. Played Little Kim.
My first show was called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. I got to play the role of Charlie. Had a great time with it. The year was 1995. I was in second grade. And I was suggested to go do a show at the theater because my wonderful teacher at the time, one of a kind, suggested to my parents that I should go check it out because I had a lot of extra energy, had quite a personality at that age, and I should go maybe see if that could be an outlet for me. And she turned out to be right. Loved it. So that was it, first show.
I guess like the first actual show that I was in was at the Rose Theater in Bastrop. We did a summer production when I was probably 15. It was a show called Hurricane Smith. Don't know anything about it, haven't heard of it since. And it was all kids, but I think that's what helped me really just love theater, was it was all a bunch of kids my age, and it was summertime, and you know, we were all being goofy and messing around, but also working together, and so it was a neat thing and a fun thing.
The very first show that I did was back in 2015, so not that long ago. I remember I had just seen my very first show at Strauss, which was Music Man. And main reason I saw it was because my wife, Courtney, was in it. She was in the ensemble. But I remember I really enjoyed the show. I mean, it was very well done. Everybody did a great job with it. And I was very impressed by all the talent on that stage. And I thought to myself, you know, maybe I should give this theater thing a try. And so I went home, I looked up the Strauss website just to see what shows they had coming up. The very next show that they had auditions for was a little play called Southern Hospitality. And I had never heard of this show, but it sounded really, really funny. And I was actually able to find a copy of the script online. So I read the entire script. I was in tears laughing. I mean, it was so hilarious. And I thought to myself, okay, I've got to do this show. So my wife and I both auditioned, and we both got parts. I got the role of Justin Waverly, who was kind of a young, inept preacher who was desperately trying to get promoted to full-time pastor. My wife, Courtney, played the role of Gina Joe, who was Justin's wife. And we just had a blast doing that show. I mean, everybody on the cast and the crew was so wonderful to work with. I mean, we had such a great time. And from that point on, I was hooked. So that was my first show, and definitely not my last.
The first show that I was in of any significance, other than little class plays in 3rd, 4th grade, those sort of things, and Christmas programs, was The Sound of Music in 1973. I was a senior in high school, and I worked really hard on that show and loved it very much. In fact, I loved it so much that I've been in that show in various roles 5 times. From the Baroness to Maria to Sister Berta to Liesl. So anyway, love that show. The first show I ever did at the Strauss was Dark of the Moon. I was Conjure Woman. That's when I started getting into doing the witchy roles. I really liked them. I also did Conjure Woman at Colorado State University. It ain't easy changing witches. It's the hardest thing I know. Take spider webs and graveyard dirt and a ring from the finger of a cold dead hand.